Everything was shameless now clear. I visualize like a drop of sound. I am the man without fear. You can't hurt me. No, you can't stop me. No, you can't beat me. No, you can't bring me down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Hello, ladies, take my hand. Like a tears in this rain. I love everything and I dream. The voices scream, the voices shout. Constantly assault, everything was evil now clear. I am the dumb missile without sound. I am the man without fear. You can't hurt me. No, you can't stop me. No, you can't beat me. No, you can't bring me down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Justice is blind, but I trust you. Justice is blind, but I trust you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Daredevil. See the man without fear. See the man without fear. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 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 The roof of universe. Everything was shameless now clear. I visualize like a trumpet sound. I am the man without fear. You can't hurt me. No, you can't stop me. No, you can't.
Hey, how you doing, my friends? What's up? And I know I reviewed this film. I think it's still up on the channel. I don't know if it'll be up for long because I, I think I could do the review better. It's one of those reviews I look back on like, I could do a little better because it was back when I had limited time and whatnot. And plus, with the recent big movie buzz, which I did a very fun video with Matt on it. He invited me on to talk about this. I wanted to do I would say a little in-depth more review and stuff. This will be more video of me defending the film, if anything. And I will talk about the 2003 superhero film, Daredevil. Of course, this is the director's cut. I think I reviewed this in the channel way back when I first got the DVD, actually. And on my Amazon wish list, I did put the theatric version, the 2 disc. Nothing against this version. It's just what it is. I'm getting that one also because, for one, I don't mind the theatric version, but this one I prefer is the better cut, in my humble opinion. And I feel this is the one they should have released first off. I don't give a fuck what producer Gary Foster wants to say, or Jerry Foster, whatever his name is. I know he shows up on the DVD. About pacing. I don't know. I saw this film about 5 times. I've seen this director's cut. I have no problems with pacing. I don't know what people's problem are with pacing. I thought this moved at a good pace, even for the extended scenes put back in the and stuff they got toned down, which it worked. Some people call this an R-rated cut. It's a little bit more of a darker film, but I wouldn't necessarily like if this came out today. I can see this being a PG-13. Not really R-rated cut. I mean, I mean, not for gore or nudity. A little more bad words in there. I mean, the fight scenes are fixed up. I don't know why the fuck they didn't just. What's funny about it, in the teaser trailer, they show clips from this movie, which was not even in the fucking theatrical cut or whatnot. So basically, the reason I want to talk about this film again, I put this here close to my mind, close to my heart. I flat out love this film a lot, and this film still to this day gets a lot of hate. On IMDb, it has a 5.4, and I've seen some user reviews on it. I mean, the user reviews are not really up to date. It's some user reviews like from 2005, 2006, or whatnot. Um, it is pretty much the only superhero film Ben Affleck had done, at least so far, because right now, of course, you guys know the news. Basically, he is being considered or is up for the role of the new Batman and the new Man of Steel mashup, you could say, with him versus Superman. Which I didn't mind Man of Steel, like I said in that video with Matt, and like that, and whatnot. And Ben Affleck, well, personally, I would just rather have him just come back as this character, to be honest. But if he's gonna be Batman, all right. He wants to prove people wrong. I say, I'll wait for a trailer, stuff like that. I don't feel it's right for people and for all these Nolan fanboys who are going off, making petitions out to get him fired from to Warner Bros. To get rid of him as a fucking Batman and whatnot. How Bale turned down all this big paycheck to do it. And I think Bale should stand by his fucking jets and don't take the fucking money and do other projects. Because Batman is not his best role. I will say that. This here is better than all three Nolan Batman films. Even Dark Knight shits. Or pisses. Or whatever. Shits and pisses. I hate that fucking movie. This is miles better. Everything like that. Which I'm going to get into more in depth why I feel this is miles better. I didn't make a list, but I'm just going to pull up to the top of my head. You got to give me a little break, folks. I'm a little bit rusty because, even though it's kind of strange, my computer was down for 2 days. Would your drives go bad again? Well, not my Saturn drives. Not my Saturn drives. You go to these porn sites, you caught a virus? No. I got antivirus for that. No, I don't go to that stuff. What happened was the main drive that's on the computer that I hardly use, so I thought, had went bad. And I would restart my computer. My computer would take about fucking 5 minutes to boot up, which that's not right. So my uncle took it over to his house. Him and his son, they worked on it, my cousin. And they discovered I guess my drive has gone bad for some reason or another. I've had that drive. That was the drive that came with the computer. That's not a drive I added, nothing like that. And I guess I had that drive only for storage in there. On that drive, I have a bunch of episodes of the BS Cast. I think the one we did on the Expendables, Matt. A lot of classic Matt videos, classic Mike videos. I believe there's something in there regarding, I believe, tributes that were fucked with by WMG. That some of you guys in the past have been nice enough to send me some of your videos that got blocked on YouTube so I could check them out or whatnot. And I still hold them dear to my heart and stuff like that. I like looking at them stuff and whatnot. So my uncle took the drive to his house. He did some tricks to it. He's trying to see if he could take out. He was able to open up on his computer to take out the stuff that's there, the folders and stuff like that, and put it onto something else, maybe a USB thing. I don't know, a flash drive or something if it holds it, and I can put it back in the computer. Hopefully it'll work and whatnot and everything. So tonight I finally got my computer back, and I just been doing nothing but watching a lot of films. So maybe you might see reviews. Majority of them were on cable, ironically enough. This is one I watched on, I believe it was Sunday night. And this film is still a great fucking movie. I respect other people's opinions, fine. I don't always agree on them. People hate this film. I don't know why. Like, when Ben Affleck won the Oscar for Best Picture for Argo, which Argo is gonna be given on cable soon, so I'll be able to check out Argo finally, stuff like that. Find out what the big deal is Argo is and stuff, like that. And people still kept on throwing cheap shots at Ben Affleck, but he still sucked in Daredevil. He still sucked in Daredevil. It's Bennifer. It's Bennifer. I mean, all this other stuff like that, and I feel the man knocked it out of the fucking park. You know how you say Christopher Reeve is Superman, Michael Keaton is Batman, Peter Weller is RoboCop, or more recently, Kyle Urban is Dredd, right? You know how you say that stuff? Or how Stallone is Rambo or is Rocky? Ben Affleck is Matt Murdock / Daredevil. I don't feel the man did a bad job. I have slight nitpicks about the film I'll bring up, but all in all, I still love the film a lot. And there goes the door. Yes, that's up. Never mind. Oh, my ID? Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mom. Okay. Yeah, my ID. Okay. Mom had to go to the post office for me, so I had to give her my ID and whatnot. So, Ben Affleck is Daredevil. Now, he knocked it out of the park. I will say, this to me is miles better than all three fucking Spider-Man films, or even the new Spider-Man movie for that fact. And you know, I know there were talks like 20th Century Fuckface wants to reboot it and stuff. Like I know back in 2009, Statham was interested in doing it at one point, but he wanted to play Matt Murdock with Frank Miller directing or whatnot. But because Fox 20th Century Fuckface wanted to take Daredevil and push it into what the Dark Knight, what Warner Brothers did with their Dark Knight movies or whatnot, like with Nolan's films and shit, to put it in that mode. But I feel this director's cut, it's dark enough for what it has to be. I mean, could it be more violent? Okay, but it pushes the PG-13 as far as it can go. Ironically enough, which I thought it did, even on this director's cut. Now, when I first saw the theatric version, I saw it actually I rented it from Blockbuster Video, and I remember when this hit DVD VHS back in, I think it was 2003, 2004, I guess, or late. I think it was toward the end of the summer, if I remember correctly, or the beginning of the spring. I saw it. And I remember I wanted to rent the DVD. This way back when Blockbuster, they didn't have just the rental disc. You could rent the 2-disc and see the features and whatnot. Before they start getting stingy, be like, no, it's only the rental version. Or that's just the movie alone. You want the features, you got to pay for it. All that shit. But back then, they didn't used to do that. I remember I used to go there a lot. I mean, Blockbuster used to be fun because it was close by in the neighborhood or whatnot. And, before they turned to dick faces or whatnot, bullshit. Accusing me of mother not returning a movie back, which we returned back and shit. Because a bunch of guys, somebody over there worked over, they stole the fucking disc or whatnot. We were insulted by that. And there, especially we went there a lot. We rented a lot of fucking movies, a lot of movies. Some of them I did burn, so shh, don't tell nobody. But so when I went to rent this one, we went with all that with her. It was packed, Blockbuster. A lot of people had rented out the DVD, so the DVD was pretty big in the rental market. I remember it made at least where I was at. So the only thing that he had that wasn't rented was actually the VHS. And I saw the VHS tape. I loved the film. I thought it was an interesting origin story. It moved at a fast pace. The movie is written and directed by a guy who catches a lot of shit for this film and for Ghost Rider. That is Mark Steven Johnson. Who I've seen interviews with the guy. He shows up on the commentary track. And he also shows up on the features to the Ghost Rider DVD. See, the director's cut on this is more valid, makes more sense, more merit. The one on Ghost Rider is really not much, to be honest, compared to this director's cut or whatnot. maybe a few extra stuff added, but not much. This one, it's a hell of a fucking difference. So you pass them out, they're like almost two different movies almost. But not so much on violence. It's just more on darker tone, I guess. But what to say about this film? I mean, getting into the story, the movie opens up. Of course, you got that great scene there where we see the city open up at nighttime. The score is done by Grant Revell. Grant Revell is the same guy who did the score for The Crow, another comic book film I enjoy a lot. I will say I enjoy The Crow more than this movie, but that's because of Brandon Lee. Plus, plus the soundtrack. The soundtrack's good for this as well and stuff. And Eric Draven does a little bit more in Daredevil, but still, it's not a bad film. Just my own opinion. I prefer that over this one. Nothing personal. But he's at the church. He's holding on to the cross, like that very iconic scene, which I heard they took that from one of the comic books. He scaffolds down through his stick he's got that has the detachable cable or whatnot to the church. He's badly injured. Every now and then you see little flash cuts, I guess, of an incident that happened, but you don't see exactly what it is. All right. There's this priest finds him, which I recognize the actor, Father Everett, Derek O'Connor, who Derek O'Connor, if you people might remember, he was your lead subordinate, bad guy. You can say the hitman of the lead bad guy in Lethal Weapon 2. Forster, that guy, the one that was killing all the cops in Lethal Weapon 2 and everything like that. And everything, you find out he's the one that kills Bart Riggs' wife and stuff, and gets into a little bullshit fight with Mel Gibson, alright. Which I meant that fight could have been better, because it was mostly just an ass whooping, that's about it. And he dies like a cartoon character with a giant trailer falling on him. But still, I love Lethal Weapon 2. But Derek O'Connor, I remember him from there. He plays Father Everett. And he goes, oh my god, what happened? What happened? And he takes off the mask, and you see it's Ben Affleck, and it zooms into his eyes, and you get a good voiceover narration by Matt Murdock, basically talking about how he came to be, which I thought that origin was told better. Where you see him as a child being picked on by these neighborhood bullies. And I guess they added this in the director's cut where you see blood coming off his lip, okay, or whatnot. And he runs away. He lives with his father, pretty much. The mother's not in the picture. I know there's something, I guess, in the comics that it's explained why the mother is not there. That the mother had left, I guess, the father, Matt Murdock's, was what Ben Affleck plays, Matt Murdock. And his father, Jack, when he had a young age or whatnot, and became a nun, which they added a little bit of the nun thing into the director's cut for fan service for the comic books and stuff like that. Because when I first saw it, I was like, what's up with that nun? Then in the commentary and on the features, they explain what the nun is. Like, all right, that makes sense. I wish they would have tapped onto a little bit, but then it'd be a little too much to explain or whatnot. I know Frank Miller liked it. That's Mark Steven Johnson threw that in there on purpose, which is great because Frank Miller did create. I guess he was one of the people who helped create Daredevil. You could say, or he wrote the most popular story, The Man Without Fear, I guess, and everything like that. So we see his dad, Jack Murdock, or he goes by the name Jack the Devil Murdock. He kind of a washed up amateur fighter who at one point was a good contender or whatever, but he was working at the docks and everything like that. And I like the relationship he has with his son. I like the actor who played him too, David Keefe. David Keefe, you look him up, he's done a lot of films from the 80s that you guys might remember. He plays the father of Drew Barrymore in Firestarter. He plays Richard Gere's best friend in Officer and a Gentleman, which I thought he was very good in. He did this film I really want to watch again and do a review for you guys of this movie called Lords of Discipline, where you get to see an early role by Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton the early role they played. But David Keith was very good in the lead in that film as well. Um, he's been in a lot of stuff here and there and everything. A lot of stuff I can't think of that comes to mind. But he did a good job as playing the father of Daredevil. And it's kind of strange because if I look at early, like I found early comic book images of Matt Murdock, like when they show him like from the 70s or 80s, the way the likeness looked, it almost looked like David Keith a little bit. Like if they would have did Daredevil back in the 80s, maybe David Keith could have played Matt Murdock. Just saying, just in case. I'm not saying nothing wrong with this film or nothing like that. Just saying. I know they did that TV Hulk film, Trial of the Incredible Hulk, with Rex Smith as Matt Murdock and Daredevil. I thought he did good as Matt Murdock, but as Daredevil, no. Plus wearing a black suit looked it off to me instead of getting the red suit or whatnot. Maybe because of Marvel's, whole copyright shit. Kind of like they did with the Punisher, 89 Punisher. You can't have him with the skull. We might use it for a bigger movie. All that shit, or whatnot. So, it's a great scene there where his father, David Keith, he's kind of like a little bit washed, kind of drunk, a little drunk out, but he's not abusive like you see in these films. Oh, the father drunk. No, he's not like that. His father, I mean, not Matt, we know, but Matt Murdock, young Matt, helps him to bed. And then he sits on the bed there and he goes, "Hey, where'd you get those scars from? Look, some kids were giving me some shit. Gave me some shit about you. Hey, watch your mouth." What kind of shit? About saying that you work for Fallon. You think if I was working for Fallon, I'd be putting double shifts at the docks? Now you listen to me, Matt. The only thing you be hitting is some books. I don't want you fighting. And in a way, it's kind of bullshit because he didn't fight the kids. If anything, he got his ass kicked by the kids. You can do it. Just focus on the grades. Okay? You could be anything you want. A lawyer, an astronaut, anything you want to be. You're only holding yourself back. Your own limits. Then you gonna promise me? He goes, "Alright, Dad, I promise." Okay. Now get out of here. Go. But I like they had a good relationship there. And he goes by the docks and with his skateboard and whatnot. And he has a report card there. He's one of the people by the docks there, and they're moving around these chemicals. And he asks the foreman, "Hey, excuse me, my father is Jack Murdock here, my dad. Your father hasn't worked here in 6 months." He goes, "Oh." Then he realizes his father lied to him. He drops his report card on the floor. You see, it's all A's. So he kept it promised to his father. And then when he's driving away, when he's skateboarding away, he discovers in an alleyway some guy dressed up in black leather clothes. I mean, not black leather jacket with a hat, grabbing some guy against a gate there, asking the guy, "You gonna pay Fallon back his money?" And then he looks at him, he got tears in his eyes. He goes, "Dad," and it's his father. His father was working for Fallon. So he goes and runs away from his father. He goes, "Matt, come back here, Matt." Until one thing leads to another, and there's a big accident. Into a high-low punctures one of these chemicals in these barrels and hits him right in his eyes. Horribly wounded, blinding this poor kid. We don't see it, not even in the director's cut. You see a little bit of the internal damage. All right, that's all you need. And great scene where he discovers he has his powers or whatnot. And he's at the hospital and he hears the sonar. He's freaking out, the kid or whatnot. Until his father comes to see him and he apologizes and they hug each other. They make a promise to each other to stand for the little guy and make a bow. And you get a great little montage sequence there where his father is training and hitting the speed bag and fighting and stuff like that, because he goes by the name Jack the Devil Murdock. So when he goes into the boxing ring, he's got this little ape with the little horns on it. Good shit, good stuff. I like that. And you start seeing how Matt Murdock, young Matt Murdock, is learning about his gift. How he's reading Braille, feeling the Braille and everything like that. And how he looks at the sonar. Because the way it works is that he can see by sound, if that makes any sense. Like if there's a certain thing, we bang something, it makes a sound effect, like a wave, like a radar, like a sonar. So it's a good scene there. We see him working the bag. And he's like the city of New York becomes his playground. See him sliding down a thing and everything like that. But you have a cameo by Stan Lee, like he did a lot of these films, of course. This is a great scene there with Matt Murdock, young Matt Murdock, about to cross the street. and then holds back Stan Lee about to cross the street. Goes, keep. I always like when the Stan Lee pops up in there. I don't know why. It always cracks me up. I don't know why. Yeah, that old bastard. Why not? They don't pop up in his movies. Why not? Come on. So you get a great scene there where his father's about to fight this big fight, and this gangster Fallon basically threatens him and says, "Look, Jack, you're not a young fighter no more. All these fighters you've been fighting are my fighters. All right? It's a lot of money riding on the opposite way here. Now, in your interest, in your son's interest, you better throw this fight." You have a great scene that we think he might do it until he gets knocked down, and he's at the boxing fights right there, and then right next to Fallon, the gangster guy, you actually have sitting next to one of his bodyguards is actually Kane Hodder, Jason himself, and stuff. And you see his son is there listening to the fight or whatever, and he gets up and Jack Murdoch, his dad, beats the shit out of the guy, and then spits out the mouthpiece on Fallon. Fallon ain't happy about that. So he goes outside, he's waiting for his father outside their place, until ultimately his father gets ambushed by Fallon's goons, including Kane Hodder, and he's beaten up. His son hears this, tries to run to an alleyway till somebody comes out of the car. You see the weight of the car shift, so he knows a big motherfucker, and throws a rose on red rose on his father, and all of them just goes boom, breaks his face, I guess. And it's a great little scene there where he finds his father. And he just feels feels his father's face like there's no life or nothing left, and just a rose. And he's saying he just crushes the rose with his fist there. Until fast forward years later now, where we see him waking up. Pretty much, he's in this little, I guess, his little water tank, which I know the reason the character does is I know it was explained to me in the last review I did by Marv Kevin's a big fan of this superhero. I don't blame him. Yeah, thank you by the way for explaining. And little tank right there, he comes out of there because that's the only way he gets peace. Since his character ears are so sensitive, can hear a lot of stuff like that. The only way he can get sleep and peace is through this water tank. It was like kind of like a tub, like a water tub tank with salt water, where he floats up a little bit. So that's how he sleeps. And everything you see, he has scars in his back or whatnot. So I kind of like that. He's kind of like Mark Steven Johnson said in the commentary, kind of like one of those North Dallas Ford, like an old football player. Like he had all these bruises and stuff. So I liked that. And you see, I know Ben Affleck worked his ass off for this role, for the research. He worked with a technical advisor on blind people, who to make Ben Affleck very honest as a blind man, because he put the caps on his head so he couldn't see. So he had to learn how to fold money a certain way. Like $5 bills are folded this way, $10 bills are folded another way, $20 bills are folded this way and stuff and whatnot. And everything. So Ben Affleck did a great job with that, like to be a legit blind man. And we see him, Matt Murdock, of course, is a lawyer at Hell's Kitchen, New York, of course. And he's in the middle of a case right there. He's giving a closing argument. Justice is blind. Is the whole thing like that, basically. Protecting this woman who was beaten up and badly raped by some asshole named Jose Casadas. Scumbag, you say, sort of a subordinate, one of the goons of this guy who runs the city named Kingpin, this big gangster. And the guy who plays Casada is another actor you guys probably seen around a lot. Let's see if I could find him. So I know he was in a very shitty movie I rented out a long time ago. We'll be like, Genie, you go pop! Forgot the fucking actor's name. Shit. Okay, no, it's not his name. Shit. Let's see. fuck is it? Let's see. Oh, great. Where the fuck is this guy at? Shit. Can never find nobody here. I can't believe this shit. Paul Ben Victor. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, he was also on that TV series, The Invisible Man by Sci-Fi with Sci-Fi Channel. Did I never seen it, but I heard good things about it and whatnot. He's been in a lot of stuff, Paul Ben Victor. He really did a good job playing the slime bag, scumbag, or whatever. How see, basically, lawyers in Hell's Kitchen, and you got John Favreau in here, which I feel John Favreau to me is better here than he is in the Iron Man films. I'm sorry, I like his character more here. I like his back and forth more with, he plays character Franklin Foggy Nelson, F.F. Nelson. Let me say it. John Favreau. I really liked it, his character, and the director's cut is more of him, which I liked it. They threw more back in there of him and whatnot. Where uh, you know, they always taking a lot of these pro bono cases and stuff because Matt Murdock wants to help the good people and stuff. And Foggy supports them on it, but sometimes you know what, we need money, and these people they don't have money to pay for their little firm they got or whatnot to help the people and stuff. But Matt still wants to do it. He wants to help people. Matt's good people, of course. Matt Murdock as well. I just threw that in there. Why not? So basically, what happened is Casala says that because Matt Murdock has this thing where he can listen to people's heartbeats when they're testifying, so you can tell when they lie, their heart beats a certain way or whatnot. Like he has a built-in lie detector, or whatever, like that. And he says, and of course, the prosecuting attorney says that this woman that he's protecting was she had a past with drugs or whatnot. But Matt Murdock's like, but what does that have to do with this case now? She had a past with. What about her? Look at these pictures. She's been badly assaulted. She was raped by this guy. Oh look, I don't know about that, Mr. Murdock. I could say it was consensual by both parties. You see where Slimer, and he hears the girl crying, breaking down, like, you son of a bitch. But I like what he says, for your sake, Mr. Casada, you better pray justice served today. And of course, he gets acquitted and stuff. And Matt suits up, puts on his clothes, the leather costume and like that, with his stick with that has the cables or whatnot. Okay, runs rooftop to rooftop or whatnot. Decent stuff, good. The problems that this film has, which I cannot defend, is the bad, dated, spotty CGI. That's what I was saying. If they do a sequel, use Park R. The free running stuff. That would be perfect for Daredevil. I'm sure you can get a stunt double who could do that. Not Ben Affleck. That'd be too dangerous if he's going to take the fucking risk. Maybe get Cito Raffaelli to help stand in for him on some parts because he does that free running stuff or whatever. Or the other guy that he was with in those District B13 films. They could do that Daredevil stuff. It probably could work. It probably could go going from rooftop to rooftop and shit. Or whatnot. It's my humble opinion. Somebody would think of it. So he goes in there, and you see him at a biker club there. Okay, the R-rated cut's a little bit extended in that, or whatnot. Which I like that they fixed this in the director's cut. Which he's hanging out, which I did mention when I mentioned this in the older review, and watching this again, I always think of the scene. He's basically Casada's there drinking fucking shots with his boys, talking a lot of shit. Oh, it's just a system, yeah, for making it work out. Then out of nowhere, you see a guy hanging out there, and it's Daredevil, which made me think of that scene in The Crow, like where Top Dollar is before you get to the shootout with Top Dollar, where Top Dollar's talking a lot of shit in a room. Then you see Eric Draven just sitting outside with a blackbird like this, and then opening his eyes like, all right, I'm annoyed by listening to this shit, but he don't say that. but it's more in the shadows. He's just sitting down right there, and then someone spots him. He goes, "What do you want?" "Justice," and takes his that stick and just throws it and hits the guy right in the fucking throat. And then all the bad guys come out, fire guns on him. He dodges all the bullets. All right, a little bit of spotty CGI at first, but then when he lands down, great fight choreography. Well done. You can see what the fuck is going on. That's my biggest complaint when I first saw the movie the first time. Like, you can't see the fight scenes too well. And you got that another good song played by what was it? Yeah, Learn the Hard Way. Where I think it's by I forgot the name of the fucking band. I can't believe. I know someone's gonna tell it down below. Great song. Yeah, Learn the Hard Way. I don't know. It was by what was it? I forgot the name of that band. I can't believe I forgot the fucking name of the band. Some way or somehow now I know you wandering away. That song, man. Not that song playing right now, but that's the band. Wish I would know the name of the fucking song and stuff. But they play that song there. Very good scene there. The people who did the choreography was Master Wu Ping. Well, right, Master Wu Ping, Yan Wu Ping basically was the Hong Kong martial arts team that they got for the Matrix films and stuff. And this was the beginning of the millennium, so people were still trying to give these guys more jobs. I mean, Wu Ping also did work on Charlie's Angels movies as well as the Matrix sequel. So those guys got a big chunk of money for working on these big movies or whatnot and stuff. And the choreography is real good. Ben Affleck is doing all the fight scenes. He's in every shot. What I like about it, it's some back and forth in the fights. It's like there's one guy hitting him with something. He's punching a guy out. He's punching another guy here. He kicks another fucking guy. He climbs on the wall, fucks one guy up. He climbs on top of there. He dodges some more bullets and whatnot. And everything like that. And breaks one guy's neck or whatever. Then puts him on the fucking rail of the staircase. Then surfs on the guy like a fucking surfboard or whatever, a skateboard. Kicks another fucking guy. Some fire starts. Gets the pool tables on fire because there's pool tables there and stuff. And then you had the scene there, which I wish this was put in the theatric version, where Daredevil's walking on the damn pool tables on fire. And he goes, "Kasada!" Trying to give the devil his due. Which I know they made a big fuck up there because you see, Daredevil has those things covering his eyes or whatnot, but in that scene when it's on fire, you don't see it. You see a big holes there. You see his eyes. His face looks a little more real. I don't know if that was a continuity fuck up somebody did or whatnot. Maybe they had to do that so Ben Affleck can see where the fuck he's walking in flames or whatnot. You know, big burn and shit. And great scene where Casada crawls out of there basically after his team's been fucked up by Daredevil. And Daredevil's just slowly stalking him. Like, he's burning there. You see a reflection on the puddle, jumps on the puddle, leads him to a train station right there where he can see the sound, he can feel the sonar, the sounds with his little pole right there, his little stick. Boom! The sound right there. And he sees Casada's hiding behind a pillar with a gun. And he comes up behind him with the fucking cables. That kid thing opens up. Says, "Hey, how you doing?" "Yeah, I was acquitted." "Yeah, but not by me." Now I know where the fucking train comes, fucks up his ears a little bit. Quesada gets the advantage. He goes, "Go to hell, Diablo," and pull back the hammer. I like what he says here. "All right, but you're gonna meet me there first." Go poof, knocks him over, falls into train tracks. He goes, and the train's coming. And then he goes, "You know what they have a light in the end of that tunnel? I have news for you. That's not heaven. It's the C train." Okay. It cuts away, and you see a crime scene there, and Casada's dead, pretty much. Then you got this reporter, played by Joe Pantoliano, another right enough star of The Matrix. Joe Pantoliano's been in a lot of stuff, of course, Goonies as well, and everything. Plus, he plays the captain in the Bad Boys films as well. Joe Pantoliano's always good to see him. He's alright in the film, not bad. Plays this reporter, journalist, Ben Urich. Ben Urich, who's investigating this whole thing about Daredevil and whatnot. And the police are telling him there is no such thing as Daredevil. He goes, "All right." Then takes out his cigarette and throws it on the floor, and you see Daredevil left his mark, which I still stand by the statement I made a few years back when I reviewed the film, that I liked that stuff when it was done better in The Crow and in The Punisher, the 2004 Punisher. I mean, does Daredevil really need a calling card, to be honest? I don't know. I think he's really trying a little too hard there, Mark Steven Johnson. I don't know. Some people might say, oh, in the 2004 Punisher, was just too broad and blowing up all these cars. But I love that shit. It just looked it better. I don't know why. Maybe I saw that in the theater. I loved that experience. And The Crow was very beautiful. Sorry, so I went to the wrong pipe. And The Crow, that was done very beautiful, in my humble opinion. If I can get some fucking water here. Yeah, sure, I'm a genius. Didn't fill up the fucking bottle. So then it cuts away, and we see that Foggy and Matt are having breakfast at some restaurant or whatever, and Foggy's giving Matt shit about how one of their clients paid them in pike, which is fish, and what like that, and Foggy and Matt trying to tell him, look, these people are good people, we can't just charge them. We gotta get guilty clients and all of those stuff like that. And he says, he passed the honey, gives him honey for his coffee or something, and realizes, gives him mustard to try to fuck with Matt Murdock. And Matt Murdock just said, okay, yeah, he's talking to me there. Until he senses a woman is in there, smells something, and it's Jennifer Garner. Which I will say, still is my biggest fucking problem with the film. Nothing against her personally, none like that. It's just, I just think of many other actresses. Maybe I can't think of them at the moment, who I think maybe would have done Elektra justice, to be honest. And the stuff the character does in the film, that I wasn't the biggest fan of, to be honest. And I still to this day don't know why the fuck they gave this character her own film. Why? Instead of just giving us a sequel, you could have had a follow-up, which I would have preferred that over the fucking her own movie. But basically, it's a great scene there where Foggy's looking at her and Matt switches the coffee because he knows he did something to the mustard or whatever, stuff like that. And then he goes, what are you doing? Well, as your lawyer, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to go file a closing argument. So he goes there. He goes by and says, excuse me, honey, can you pass the cream, please? Can't see it right in front of you. Obviously, no, I can't see it. She sees he's blind. And then, I like how Foggy's watching this. He drinks the coffee. So, he spits out the damn coffee with the mustard in it. He goes, is that a friend of yours? Well, I swear I have never seen that guy before. So he has a little charm to him, so I liked it. And stuff. I'm Matt Murdock. You are? I didn't give you my name. And she walks out on him. And then Foggy goes, where are you going? To file an appeal. So he goes, remember, we got to be on course. Yeah, I know. So he follows her, and you get this fight on the playground, which that's always the way I felt about the fight. Even when I saw it back in the day, it's like, watching it again, I can understand. It feels very Matrix-like. Even the fighting pose, like where you see Matt Murdock is saying, you still don't want to tell me your name? Are you really blind? And he does that little thing like snapping like this. Made me think of almost like Agent Smith in a way, like snap. And her karate pose or martial art pose is, which made me think of almost the same pose that Neo did, or was it or Morpheus did in fucking Matrix. And they fight very wire-like. Ironically enough, in a playground, sort of like Matrix Reloaded, if you think about it. Which that came out the same year as this film, ironically enough, later in the year. Or whatnot. Okay. She gives her name finally at the end of the fight. Let your nachos. And stuff. And then it cuts away, and we're introduced to our villain of the film, and an actor who is greatly, greatly missed. Michael Clark Duncan. as Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Now, I understand in the comics, the Kingpin is a very tall, bald-headed white guy. In the comics, I can understand that. Now, I do not know who the fuck you would get to fill that description in Hollywood. Who are you gonna get like that? Who's a physical opposing presence? Really, you can't think of it, can you? Who are you gonna get? James Gandolfini? No disrespect to the guy. I know he's another one who's no longer with us, but I don't know. I just it never bothered me because Michael Clark Duncan, I thought that was spot on. Like, why not? You know, he seems. And I like about the director's cut, like even Mark Steven Johnson admitted in that little feature that's on there, giving the devil it's his due, is that you didn't get the impression in the theatric version that Kingpin was a very intimidating force to be reckoned with. And I like the way they put this back in the film where, he's talking to his assistant Wesley, played by Leland Orsi, who everybody remembers from Alien Resurrection. What the fuck is inside me? That fucking guy or whatever. Leland Orsi. And he's telling the whole thing about his bodyguards and how back then they cut out the tongue of the bodyguards to prove their loyalty and whatnot. And very what the fuck type of scene where he has a glass cane. He whacks one of the bodyguards fire real hard with the cane. The cane's bleeding. Grabs one of them by the neck and just goes rah! Click. Snaps his neck with one fucking hand just to prove a point. So I kind of like that idea. This guy is not to be fucked with. And somebody witnesses this. It's actually Elektra's dad, who's played by Eric Arvari, who you might remember the actor Eric Arvari because he was in Stargate, the first Stargate film as well. And I guess he had some business dealings with Kingpin, but he's seen that, he's getting business into some dirty stuff. So he doesn't want to be bothered with it. So he wants to say, look, you buy out my contract here and I'm out. But Wilson Fisk gives him a thing, how is your daughter? Or whatnot. Then it cuts away and we get this whole subplot thing that's going on in the director's cut, in which Matt Murdock one night overhears this woman, this prostitute, being killed and whatnot. And it's almost as close as being close to him, like in the same room. He feels that he hears it, his vision, he hears everything. And ultimately, there's this guy named Dante Jackson, who's an ex-convict, who's being blamed for it. Now, Dante Jackson is played by, I believe, Coolio, which I remember when I first seen the director's cut, they gave it on FX channel, I don't know, if here and there. I had problems with Coolio. Watching it again, he's not in the film that much to fuck it up, but he's good for what he has to do, in the film, or whatnot. And Matt Murdock takes his case, and in the director's cut, you get more of Matt Murdock being the lawyer, which I know people will say, but wait a minute, F3, a Daredevil film, a little bit of Daredevil? I know it's a stretch, I know, but this one, I guess, is one of the few ones that did it the right way. Like in the Nolan Batman film, my problem is Bruce Wayne, at least in the first film, I can understand, okay, you're building the character up. But even in the second film or the third film, Batman's barely in the fucking movie. And stuff they add there to substitute is really nothing much to it at all. Here, it makes sense because at least Matt Murdock, is doing something. He's not doing like with Iron Man 2, what Tony Stark was doing, crying about his father and love him and him thinking he's dying and this and that. Or like I heard about Iron Man 3, or should I say Tony Stark Rises, which some people have been calling that, about this whole fucking thing about him being panic attacks and then calling out the bad guys to come to his fucking house and blow up his fucking house or whatever, whatnot. That's a film I know I'm gonna yell about, right? If I see a fucking movie or whatnot. You can't do a good Iron Man sequel. What the fuck? But this movie kicks the shit out of the fucking Iron Man sequels. Let's get one of those. So basically they're investigating the case and like that, and turns and everything. Same time, you got a little bit of thing happening with Lecture, but in the director's cut they toned it down, which I liked that, to be honest. Even though in the director's cut, the regular theatric version, they were there, but just I don't know. It's just Jennifer Garner's acting is not that good. I'm sorry. I never was a fan of Alias. The only one film I remember seeing her in a long time ago, which I didn't mind her in because it made me think of the movie Big, was the movie called 13 Going on 30, I think it was called. She did it with, I think, Mark Ruffalo, if I remember correctly. Thought it was a decent little time waster. I have not seen The Kingdom yet. I know, shame on me, I should see it. I heard it was very good. Jamie Foxx movie. Peter Berg directed. Michael Mann executive produced. But everything Jennifer Garner has done just never interested me. I know she ended up with Ben Affleck, and now they're happy together and whatnot. Thanks to them working together on this film. They hooked up and whatnot. Even though this was around the time Ben was still in his relationship with J-Lo, which that was pretty much played out to all the fucking tabloids, which I don't think that was his fault. It's just one thing, everybody was eyeballing him pretty much. Or eyeballing J-Lo, like, Ben Affleck, really? That fucking guy? And she went from P. Diddy to BA. That makes any sense. Well, not BA Baracus, Ben Affleck in the house. It's the bomb and Phantoms, yo. Come on. So, all that goes on there. You get that beautiful scene where he says when it rains, he could see a little bit because of the drops and everything like that. He kisses her. There's no love scene in the director's cut, which I'm glad you didn't need it because I made it more impactful what happens later without the love scene. And they're going to show you his character is more dedicated to this other life he lives, where he catches some guy beating up some guy in the alleyway, chases the guy to an apartment building, and beats the shit out of the guy in front of his son. And then you get that whole thing right there. He goes, "Kid, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy." And he cries. You see a very good shot there where he's in the rain. He's like, "I'm not the bad guy." Or whatnot. Then next day he's depressed. He finds out, of course, the lecturer is the daughter of this guy, Nachios, Nicolas Nachios. And he's invited to participate to this party at this hotel that she's invited by her to bring a +1 basically, which is Foggy. Foggy goes with him there, and once again I like the banter of these two guys together. Like there's a great scene there where they're walking out to go investigate this prostitute's place or whatnot, and some taxi driver curses them out. "Hey, when you let the guy pass, he's fucking blind. Hey, fuck you!" And I like how Ben Affleck goes, "I love the city, don't you?" He walks away. That's so New York. Come on. Some assholes, by the way, especially cabbies or whatnot. So they go there investigating stuff. They find an address, something called MOM, and a number on it or whatnot and stuff. And you get a scene there where Matt Murdock and Foggy, they're in court doing closing arguments. And the little gimmick they have going there to try to milk his handicap a little bit, like Foggy's trying to guide him back to the chair. He goes, "All right, but you have to do anything with the chair. Don't worry about it. Just come on." "Okay, sorry, Your Honor." And the opposing attorney is an actor I recognize, Kevin Spratis, who was in Friday 13 Part 7, The New Blood. He plays the lead guy in that. He was also in the Hills Have Eyes sequel, the 85 film, the Wes Craven sequel, one of Dog's Flashback. He was in that as well, Kevin Spratis and stuff. And one thing leads to another. You got a little bit of a thing right there and whatnot. There's a scene there later on. They call Dante Jackson, Coolio's character, to the stand for questioning. Foggy's in the courtroom alone because Matt Murdock is busy doing other stuff or whatnot. And once again, a great scene with Jon Favreau. I mean, I like him in this film better than the Nightmare film. I'm not going to apologize. I think Foggy Nelson is a good character. A lot of fun. Everything like that. Have you ever owned a gun? No, sir. I've never owned a gun. I've owned a rifle. I've owned a Uzi, a Glock. But that's not really a gun. That's not a gun. Thank you. I mean, no further question. But nah, a bazooka? You get some guys in the hood? Okay. Mr. Jackson, Dante, come down. Please stop. That's enough questions. Oh, okay. Or he almost fucks himself up there. There's this cop who's being questioned by Matt Murdock, and he has that thing. He uses the bullshit detector thing with his ears, but you can see some of the guy's heart rate is telling the truth. Later on, he finds out that from the reporter guy Ben Urich that that cop basically has this brand new car that's pretty much hard to afford on a policeman's salary. So he knows he's being paid off. A great scene there where Matt Murdock shows up there in regular clothes, trying to take the car for a spin, fucking up the car, getting information out the guy or whatnot. And then he rips the guy's shirt and realizes the guy has a pacemaker. That's one of the reasons he couldn't read his heart rate to tell if he's telling the truth or not or whatnot. So he bangs the car into something, bangs his head against something, and finds out. Because basically before all that happens, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, wants, he realizes the media is getting closer to him as Kingpin, so he wants to give them a fall guy, Nachios, but he wants a special hitman to take care of this, and he calls in Bullseye, which is another complaint, not from me, but from a lot of people, along with people complaining about Ben Affleck, about spy CGI, is Colin Farrell's portrayal of Bullseye. I did not follow the comics. Now, I understand from what I've heard, his character is very sadistic and stuff like that. And I think people had a problem with the fact his character was a bit silly in the film. But I thought he had moments of sadistic stuff. Like, okay, you got the little thing where you got the music in there where this is the House of Pain's top of the morning to you. Like, he's throwing the dots there where he's drinking a beer on the dartboard and shit. And the guy gives him the money and stuff. He just stuff like that. Irish trash. He gives him a weird look. And his paper clips. The guy's laughing at him. He all of a sudden he does a little trick, breaks the paper clips to pieces, just so stabs him right in his throat. And like, okay. And then, okay, you get the extended scene in the airport when he's trying to get to the airport. He comes in there with a pen, and he's just chewing on a paper clip with his mouth hurt like that. It's a very good scene also because they have that little police dog they have at they sniff out the drugs at the airport. The dog's like looking at, he looks at the dog, the dog goes, like, dog don't want to fuck with Bullseye and stuff. Somebody had a problem with the goofiness or the scene where this old lady on the plane, sweet old lady, is telling her life story or whatever, and Bullseye is very bored to tears by it, driving him nuts. He takes pretty much a bag of peanuts, puts them on the table, and shoots a peanut right into her throat, killing the lady. Which I don't really know if you needed that. It was played for silliness, I know. It's over there. Oh, she's okay. Can I get another bag of peanuts, please? I think probably one of the few times you listen to Colin Farrell actually using his natural dialect. Okay. And basically, he's given the task to kill Nicholas Nachios. And you get that scene there where Matt Murdock's at the party with Elektra and stuff. I see Wilson Fisk there. Fisk wants basically offer a job to Matt Murdock and to Foggy to represent him and stuff. But Matt Murdock kind of declines. He goes, sorry, we only represent people who are innocent. Oh, believe me, in this world, nobody's innocent. Nobody. He goes away and stuff. And of course, you get that great scene there where, Fisk shows up at the party, fucks a little bit with Electra's dad, putting a rose on there. Wow, she's beautiful. I never seen her that happy since before her mother passed away. Poor girl died right in front of her. What do you mean by that? If I were you, say goodbye to your daughter tonight. Puts a rose in his pocket. Say goodbye. Just looks at him. He just goes. He wants to say something. Tells his bodyguard to leave. And takes his daughter with him. Said, look, Electra, let's go right now. Papa, what's going on? Let's go, Electra. Let's go. So he leaves. And Matt Murdock knows there's something weird going on. They hear something, I guess, in Greek. And suits up. You hear a little bit of that music there from, Man Without Fear, of course. That song by Rob Zombie and Drowning Pool. And suits up. At the same time, you got Bullseye stealing a motorcycle he stole from somebody. and he's on top of the motorcycle, just standing on it like a badass and shit. And right, like doing a chicken with the fucking limousine, just throwing his ninja stars at the fucking limousine and shit, fucking up the drivers. The car crashes until he's about to attack him. Then Daredevil pops down and stuff, and he tries to show some ninja stars at Daredevil, and he misses Daredevil. And Bullseye, I miss, I never miss. You made me miss. And then drive the motorcycle. That is a bit strange, but you can tell there's like wire work here because the way Ben Affleck moves when he runs, like, it's very weird. But then they insert shot CGI. He just basically does the flip kick, the front kick, wah! Knocks Daredevil off the motorcycle, but then the motorcycle crashes, and some gasoline is right there, about to spark up or something, until he's about to pick up his stick, where he got the grappling hook or whatnot, and he goes, looking for something, and throws it at Daredevil. The problem is Daredevil's about to catch it, but then there's an explosion on the motorcycle, and now that pushes up the waves, and now he can't see. He sees multiple sticks. He misses. Elektra is just passed out on the floor, coming to her. Her father is coming out of the limousine, and he gets impaled by Daredevil's stick. And then he goes, remember, bullseye. And then he leaves. But then Elektra, granted, it's her father, I understand. From what she's seen from the point of view, all she's seen was a thing stabbed her. She didn't see who threw it. Even though Kasue looked like she's looking that way, but I guess she was coming to, or whatever. Pulls out a gun and fires on Daredevil. He disappears in spotty CGI and stuff. Then you got a very beautiful song by Evanescence. Very beautiful. I prefer this version of the song than the one that was on the radio. You know, My Immortal. Very beautiful song. Can't believe I'm standing here, surrounded by all your childish fears. You know, Amy Lee sings better than me, obviously. I can't fucking top that. Beautiful woman, and she could sing too. And very beautiful scene where she wants revenge, and Matt's telling her, it ain't gonna help anything. What do you know about it? Trust me, I know. Please stay. Stay with me. It's raining, and he looks at her face, she's sad. But she puts the umbrella over her face to cover her face, and she leaves and stuff. And then you have a scene there where basically Daredevil's suiting up and knows that she's gonna be next to be killed, pretty much by Bullseye, because Kingpin gives Bullseye the order to kill her and put the rolls, and basically kills one of Kingpin's guards with pencils. Was that necessary? No, but it was fun. Okay, how do you kill a man without fear? By putting the fear back in him. Right. Now, is there anything else you need? Yes, I want a fucking costume. Which works better than the director's cut. I don't buy the whole thing. I want a bloody costume. And basically, okay, you got the whole scene there with that Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. That's another song that came from the film as well. Where you have Elektra. That is going to work if you got a better actress or at least a martial artist. Pull this off. But you see a little scene there where she has her sights and she's fucking up a bunch of the fucking sandbags or whatever. Because sandbags don't hit back. Of course, that's why she's able to fuck them up. And, okay, Daredevil's suiting up and shit. Makes it to the rooftop where her building is at. She shows up there looking hot. Trying to attack Daredevil. Daredevil's trying to say, look, I didn't kill your father. It was the hitman named Bullseye. Liar. And basically fucking him up. He's trying to explain to her, look, don't hit me. I didn't kill your father. She's not listening to him. And she's chasing him. And you get a little weird looking shot where she jumps from rooftop to rooftop. It looks very bad. I didn't like the shot. And ultimately she impales him right through the glass. Fucking him up. And then she pulls off the mask and she reveals it's Matt Murdock. She feels horrible about it and stuff. And Bullseye shows up whistling. Hey, Orphan! Hey, let's dance. Come on. Bullseye, remember the name. And I know somebody's gonna say, but that's how it was in the comic. It's 100% honest. Lie to me. Or hell, just don't even put her in the film. Or maybe get me a better actress who could I believe could in the fight scenes. Because seeing this scene here makes me wonder and scratch my head. Why the fuck they gave her own movie? Really, why? Even her own movie, I don't buy her kicking ass either. She gets pwned by Bullseye, who's a non-martial artist, but I guess the idea in the comics he was a very vicious fighter, but maybe Colin Farrell doesn't sell that. He sells the viciousness, but he doesn't sell the fighting ability, in my humble opinion. Maybe this is one of those things you could have benefited maybe from Jason Statham, maybe, playing that character. And I'm not saying that because he's bald and has an accent. I'm just saying I buy him more as Bullseye than Matt Murdock. Because first off, I've never seen Statham do an American accent in a movie. He's been always using the British accent for over 10 years. So cut me some break on that. I know one time I mentioned that somebody said, oh, but that's kind of saying it's insulting because Statham is bald-headed and he's British, so you want it to be Bullseye. Well, I buy him more as Bullseye than Colin Farrell. Not that it's Colin Farrell. He's not the greatest actor, but he does a capable job in the film. I know somebody did a fan movie, a little thing on Venom, and they had a cameo by a Bullseye character, but it was played by Derek Mears. I want to see Derek Mears give him a shot. That's a guy who should get more jobs. Why not? So, I know I got 1 hour into this. He pwns Elektra, throwing a scythe through her hand, pulling it out. One little scene that was in the director's cut, which they couldn't get away from the theatrical version because of the fucking MPA, or because of the studio people or whatnot, where she's impaled, which that's in both versions, but the fact of Bullseye kissing her dead on the lips while he's impaling her, they didn't like that. So I guess that's why you got a little bit of the R rating right there. And she's thrown down and stuff. And then the rose is thrown on her, the red rose, or carnation, or whatever the fuck it was. And then Bullseye splits. Daredevil gets out of there. He sees her heartbeat stop. Then he ends up back in that scene like he should be in the film with the church. And then you get the climax between him and Daredevil Bullseye right there. And ultimately, really a spotty CGI fight. Because you see Daredevil. That's probably what the most scene in the film you see most of the CGI Daredevil. Okay. Fucks up Bullseye ultimately. Because he hears a sniper because the police surround the church and whatnot. And because the priest escapes and calls the cops and everything, they fire a bullet that basically fucks up Bullseye's hands. Please, they took my hands, mercy. A great scene there where he picks up Bullseye and throws him through the fucking glass of the church and impales him right on top of a fucking police car. Boom! Bullseye! And I like the little thing that Grandma the way that president, he just jumps across and stuff. And he goes to face off with Kingpin, which I like the face off better in this version. That's one thing I was disappointed with in the theatrical cut. Which I don't know why the fuck they cut it. Which I liked in this fight because it seemed like it was a bit longer and a little more satisfying, which I liked it. In the theatrical version, basically what the big fight is in the regular version, this version here, is Kingpin's and his fucking wife beater and he's barely hanging out with his arms and shit. Daredevil, Kingpin. He fires his grappling hook at Daredevil's cane. He pulls him over and knocks him to the floor. And Daredevil kicks him, punches him a little. Boom, boom, boom. You see him spit blood, Kingpin. Then takes Daredevil, throws him against his glass, not through outside. She just boom. You see Daredevil's vision because he's still hurt from that injury right there and the blood he's lost. Wow, he sees that, the little vision of Daredevil. He headbutts Daredevil, and a good scene. He picks Daredevil up and throws him to the fucking ceiling, makes him bounce back on the fucking desk, and then flings him. I know you see bad wire work to the wall. Boom. He goes, I wish I could have fought you when you were in your prime. Let me ask you, a man without fear, why are you so scared to show your face? And then unmasks him and realizes it's Matt Murdock. He goes, I can't believe this. The blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen? You killed my father. You killed everyone that I loved. Why? Well, business. Nothing personal. I killed your father. I used to work for Fallon. And your girlfriend was in the wrong family at the wrong time. So that's about it. And now, just like you are about to meet today. And of course, the whole thing where he has this thing with the water, which I like that this little thing they threw in there, where he knocks out the water sprinklers, and now he's able to see Wilson Fisk more, Kingpin, and gets into a decent fist fight with him. Not martial arts, because, Michael Clark Duncan's not martial art, but still, decent fight. Ben Affleck's doing it and stuff. Punches him around, whacks him with that thing a bunch of times, stick, kicks him a little bit, boom, 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 and then slides under the water, then slides under, and pushes his feet right into, crushes his fucking kneecaps. Ah! Ah! That's it. Police are coming. They're coming to get you. No, you didn't hear? The word's out on the Kingpin. Because in the director's cut, they explain how the word got out on the Kingpin was that ultimately you find out, Foggy finds out what thanks to their secretary they got working with her, which I think that character becomes the love interest of Matt Murdock in the comics from what I heard. That the thing they found in the prostitute's apartment says mom, these numbers on it, is actually backwards. It's actually W-O-W, Wesley Owens Welsh, Leland Orsi's character. He was the guy who killed the prostitute, basically. And there was a number there to a safe deposit box, some kind of thing or whatnot. And Foggy, along with the cops, show up there and they arrest Wesley. And Wesley pretty much rolls over on Kingpin. Okay. So that's how they found out about Kingpin, who Wilson Fisk is and whatnot. Make a deal. Plea bargain, I guess. But he's still going to get prosecuted for killing the girl. And he goes, I swear I'll tell him who you are. Go ahead. Tell the guys in Rikers Island how he got beaten by a blind man. It'd be like blood in the water. Or there'll be blood. There'll be blood. Because before that, Daredevil's about to take his life. To take Kingpin's life. See, I've been waiting for this for years. And about to hit him with bling. Doesn't do it. Then why you stop? I'm not the bad guy. So I can understand that fact. And part of me was always mad for the fact, like, why the fuck didn't he kill Kingpin? Even on the commentary track, which I love the commentary on this with Mark Steven Johnson, the writer-director, and R.V. Arad. Even R.V. Arad asked Mark Steven Johnson, why do you do that for? Wouldn't it make sense to kill the guy who murdered his father and his woman? And Mark Steven Johnson like, well, the character had to go through this change or whatever. It bothers me a little bit, but it doesn't ruin the film. Like, it's alright, I can understand. Maybe it's because they figure they want Kingpin to come back for a sequel or whatnot, which they should have done instead of a fucking spin-off movie, which in my opinion. But I don't think that's ever going to happen because the movie gets hated on a lot. And basically it ends where, Foggy's having lunch with Matt, and he goes up to the rooftop where he's seen where he spent that moment with Elektra, and he finds a piece of her necklace there. So he realizes she's still alive somewhere. At the same time, you got this whole subplot going on in the director's cut that the Ben Urich character, Joe Pantoliano character, has been investigating who Daredevil is, and he found out that Daredevil is Matt Murdock. And he tells him, I know who you are. He goes, okay, don't do this to me. It's my life here. Look, I'm a reporter. That's what I gotta do. I'm a journalist. I gotta report the truth. He just walks away from him and stuff. But, great scene there where he finally makes it to church. Because I know on the theatrical version, he's going to church all the time, going to confession and stuff like that. But in the director's cut, he very rarely went to church to confess anything or whatnot. Besides that little scene where you see him there when he's bleeding or whatnot, and he has the climax with Bullseye, which I like that they threw a little bit of that was in there. It made more sense or whatnot. Nothing against the theatrical cut. But, ultimately, Ben Urich, Joe Pantoliano's character, changes his mind and decides not to expose him, basically. And they get Coolio off, which is good. Little fun scene there to get him off in court. He gives Foggy a big hug or whatnot for helping him and stuff. And ultimately, the movie ends where that's me, a guardian devil. I won't back down. I'm going to bring you hell. Great kick-ass fucking film. Kick-ass fucking movie. This is the version you guys should check out if you're gonna see it for the first time. Director's cut. Hell, watch this and the other cut back to back. Do a cut versus cut with the films. I think you won't be disappointed. You know. The biggest problem I have with the film, I'm not a fan of Jennifer Garner's Elektra. Really think she's the weakest link of the film because he's trying. If anything, she's the reason why Daredevil is not at 100% prime. You know, he could have been killed by Bullseye or Kingpin. If she would have fucking listened to him and said, I didn't kill your father or whatnot. Somebody might say maybe he should have exposed himself. Not like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe revealed himself sooner. Maybe she would have attacked him. I don't know. But she was just so pissed off she's going to do. But I understand the motive behind it. She wanted revenge. Fine. You know, and she got pwned. Her fight with Bullseye to me wasn't even an epic fight. She got her ass kicked, pal. The spotty CGI is a problem as well. But Ben Affleck is not a problem. Jon Favreau is not a problem. Colin Farrell, I got entertained by him. I got entertained by Colin Farrell. Marco Clark Duncan, MCK, rest in peace. You are greatly missed. And I thought to me he is Kingpin. To me, I can't think of anyone else you can get that's gonna top Kingpin. That's gonna not top him, but be better than Michael Clark Duncan. Mark Steven Johnson did not do a bad job. The child actor who played young Matt, he was 50-50. He was okay for what he had to do. All right. Paul Ben Victor, the small parties in the film, okay. David Keefe, is good to see him in the movie. That was nice that he got to play, Matt Murdock's dad. He did a good job for what he had to do. And overall, a good film. Good film. If I had to rate the film, I would give it a 9 out of 10. That's still a good score. And I said it before, I'll say it again. Ben Affleck, he's going to play Batman. Fine, so be it. I'll be curious to see what he brings to it. But if push comes to shove and he decides not to do it because of aggravation, he's catching all this bullshit or whatnot. And I would say direct and star and write to a follow-up to this film. Use the script called Brand New Life or Brand New Day, which I think that's the one that's based on a very famous comic book story. Which I know Kevin Smith, I think, wrote an adaptation of that. Him and Kevin Smith go back a long way. I'd like to see that movie done. Ben Affleck's a good director. He proved it. He won the Oscar, for fuck's sake. Shit. He can write. He can act. So, I have no problems with the film. 9 out of 10 is the rating for the film. Very underrated superhero film. I hold dear to my heart. I'm proud to own it. Putting this back over here. And thank you for tuning into this long one. And stay tuned for more reviews I got down the pipeline. Okay? You all take it easy. Later. Justice is blind. But I trust you.